After years of paying my parents' mortgage, I asked my mom to babysit my daughter. She snapped, "We're not your nannies." I smiled and said, "You're right, and I'm not your bank." That's when the panic set in. The words came out of my mother's mouth at 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I was standing in their kitchen, the kitchen in the house I'd been paying for, holding my phone, asking for 2 hours of help. "Can you watch Emma on Thursday? I have a work thing, just 6 to 8, 2 hours. My mother didn't even look up from her magazine. Some glossy thing about home decor. Ironic, considering. "We're not your nannies, David." I stood there, phone still in my hand, processing. 5 years of mortgage payments flashed through my mind like a highlight reel. $1,800 a month, 60 months, $108,000. For 2 hours of babysitting, I got, "We're not your nannies." I smiled. Couldn't help it. "You're right," I said, "and I'm not your bank." My mother's head snapped up. That's when the panic set in. I'd been paying my parents' mortgage for 5 years, 2 months, and 11 days when that conversation happened. It started on a Sunday in March 2018. My father had called, voice tight, stressed. "Can we talk? In person?" I drove over that afternoon, found both my parents sitting at the kitchen table, bills spread out, calculator. My mother's eyes red from crying. "I lost my job," Dad said. No preamble. "The plant closed. They're moving production to Mexico." He was 53, had worked at the same automotive parts manufacturer for 28 years. "Good job. Union, benefits, pension building, gone. We're going to lose the house," Mom said. Her voice was shaking. "We're 3 months behind on the mortgage. The bank sent a notice. We have 60 days to catch up or they start foreclosure." I felt my stomach drop. "How much do you need?" $5,400 to catch up. "But David," Dad's voice broke, "even if we catch up, we can't afford the monthly payments. Not until I find something." The mortgage was $1,800 a month, property taxes and insurance bundled in. "How long until you find a job?" I asked. "I don't know. The whole industry is contracting. Everyone's looking for the same positions." I'd made good money. Software engineer at a defense contractor in Northern Virginia. Base salary of $135,000 plus bonuses. My wife Sarah was a nurse practitioner. We were comfortable, not rich, but comfortable. "I'll cover it," I said. "What?" Mom looked up. "The mortgage, I'll pay it until you get back on your feet." "David, that's $1,800 a month." "I know. It's fine. We can manage it. We can't ask you to—" "You're not asking. I'm offering. You're my parents. This is what family does." My mother cried. My father shook my hand, eyes wet. "Just until I find something," he said. "A few months, 6 at most." 6 months became a year became 2, 2 became 5. At first I didn't mind. Dad was looking for work. I saw him trying, interviews, networking, applying to dozens of positions every week, but the market was brutal for men in their 50s. Overqualified, too expensive, younger candidates willing to work for less. He took a part-time job at Home Depot, 20 hours a week, $11 an hour. It helped, but it wasn't enough. Mom worked too. Retail, Macy's, part-time, minimum wage plus commission. Together, they made maybe $2,000 a month after taxes. The mortgage was $1,800. That left $200 for everything else, so I kept paying, and I paid other things too. The water heater broke, Dad's voice on the phone. Plumber says $1,200 to replace. I paid it. The property taxes went up, Mom, worried. We're short $400. I paid it. The car needs new brakes, Dad, embarrassed. Can you help? I paid it. Little things, big things, emergencies, non-emergencies. I opened a joint checking account with them for emergencies. Deposited money monthly. They used it for groceries, gas, dinners out. By 2020, I'd paid over $60,000 in mortgage payments. Another $15,000 in emergencies. By 2023, it was $108,000 in mortgage, $23,000 in extras, $131,000 total. But here's the thing I didn't realize until later. They stopped trying. Somewhere around year 3, Dad stopped looking for full-time work, kept his Home Depot job, said he was too old for anything better. Mom cut her hours at Macy's, complained the standing hurt her feet, down to 15 hours a week. They went on vacation, Florida, twice a year. We got a good deal on a timeshare week. They bought a new TV, 75 inches. It was on sale. They ate out constantly. We're too tired to cook, and I kept paying, because they were my parents, because I loved them, because that's what you do. I told myself they deserved to enjoy their lives. They'd worked hard, raised me and my sister, sacrificed. Sarah disagreed. "They're using you," she said one night. We were reviewing our finances, again, figuring out how to afford Emma's preschool. "They're not, David. You've paid over $100,000 in 5 years. When does it end? When they can afford it themselves? When will that be? They're working part-time and going on vacation twice a year. They're comfortable. Why would they change? What am I supposed to do? Let them lose their house? You tell them the timeline. Say you'll cover it for 6 more months. Then they need to figure it out. That's harsh. That's life. We have our own family now. Emma needs things. We need things. Your parents are adults. They can work full-time if they need to." I didn't say anything, but she was right. I just didn't want to admit it. Then came the Tuesday. I'd called to ask about babysitting because Sarah and I both had work conflicts. My company's annual meeting, mandatory attendance. Sarah had a critical patient she couldn't reschedule. Emma was 3 years old, sweet kid, easy, mostly just needed someone to watch her, feed her dinner, put her to bed. 2 hours, 6 to 8 p.m. I called my parents at 3:45 p.m. Mom answered. "Hey Mom, quick question. Julian, can you watch Emma on Thursday evening? Just 6 to 8. Sarah and I both have work things. This Thursday? Yeah. What time? 6 to 8. 2 hours. Silence. We're busy Thursday. Doing what? We have plans. Can you move them? It's kind of important. David, we're not your nannies. I felt my chest tighten. What? You heard me. We're not your on-call babysitters. We have our own lives. I could hear the TV in the background. Some home renovation show. The one they watched every Tuesday afternoon. You're watching TV right now. So you're not actually busy Thursday. You just don't want to help. That's not fair. I'm asking for 2 hours to watch your granddaughter. We'll bring her over. We'll bring dinner. You literally just need to exist in the same house as her. I don't appreciate your tone. And I don't appreciate being treated like I'm imposing when I'm asking for 2 hours of help after 5 years of paying your mortgage. That's different. How is it different? You offered to help, and you're refusing to help. We're not your nannies, David. That's when I said it. You're right, and I'm not your bank. The silence on the other end lasted maybe 5 seconds. Then, what do you mean? Her voice had changed. Careful now, aware she'd made a mistake. I mean, I'm done paying your mortgage. You can't just stop. I can, and I am. Starting now. David, you've been telling me for 5 years that it's temporary, that you just need a little more time, but you're not trying anymore. You're working part-time, going on vacation, buying new TVs, living like you're retired while I pay your bills. That's not true. It is true, and I've been an idiot for letting it go on this long, but we're done. But we can't afford, not my problem anymore. I hung up. My hands were shaking. Sarah was standing in the doorway. What happened? I just cut them off. Really? Really? She hugged me. Good. 47 minutes later, Dad called. Your mother says you're cutting us off. That's correct. This isn't funny, David. It's not a joke. We had an agreement to help temporarily. It's been 5 years. We still need help. Then get full-time jobs, both of you. We have jobs. Part-time retail jobs that you complain about constantly. You could work full-time. You just don't want to. That's not fair. What's not fair is me paying your bills for 5 years and getting treated like I'm the one asking for favors when I need something. We raised you. We fed you. Clothed you. You deserve nothing. I asked for 2 hours of babysitting. 2 hours. And Mom said, you're not my nanny, so I'm not your ATM. Silence. You're serious. Not a question. A realization. Completely. David, please. We'll lose the house. Then you should have thought about that before you refused to help your son. We didn't refuse. Yes, you did. You said you're not my nanny. Like watching your granddaughter for 2 hours was beneath you. While I've been paying $1,800 a month for 60 months, that's $108,000, Dad, and you can't give me 2 hours. His voice got quiet. We'll babysit anytime you need. Just don't stop the payments. Too late. David! I hung up, blocked both their numbers. Then I sat down at my computer and canceled the automatic transfer to their mortgage account. Wells Fargo, scheduled payments, delete, done, but I wasn't finished. I called Chase Bank. I need to close a joint account. Account number? I gave it. This is the account ending in 4739? Yes. There are 2 account holders, David Morrison and Richard Morrison. I'm David. I want to close it. I'll need to verify your identity. 5 minutes of security questions. Okay, Mr. Morrison. I can close the account. Current balance is $6,473. How would you like the funds transferred? To my personal checking. All of it. Done. The account will be closed within 24 hours. Thank you. $6,400. The emergency fund they'd been pulling from for 2 years. Groceries, gas, dinners out, new clothes, emergencies, gone. My sister called that night. Lauren, 2 years younger, lived in Chicago. We talked maybe once a month. Mom called me crying. She said, what the hell happened? I stopped paying their mortgage. Why? I asked Mom to babysit for 2 hours. She said they're not my nannies. Lauren was quiet for a moment. She actually said that? Word for word. And you've been paying their mortgage for how long? 5 years. Jesus. How much? $1,800 a month. I heard her doing the math. That's over $100,000. $108,000. Plus another $23,000 in other expenses. Holy shit. Yeah. And they can't watch their granddaughter for 2 hours? Apparently not. Lauren laughed. Sharp. Bitter. Good for you. You're not mad? Mad? I'm impressed. They've been using you for years. You think so? David, they went to Florida twice last year. They bought a 75-inch TV. Mom's working 15 hours a week. They're not struggling anymore. They're just comfortable letting you pay their bills. I didn't see it because you're too nice. But it's about time you stood up for yourself. They're going to lose the house. Then they'll downsize, get an apartment, live within their means like the rest of us. It's not your responsibility to fund their retirement. Mom called the next day from a number I didn't recognize. I answered without thinking. The bank called. Her voice was thick from crying. We're going to lose the house. Then you should have thought about that before you refused to help your son. I didn't refuse. I just said we were busy. You said you're not my nanny. Like watching Emma was beneath you. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. You've been taking my money for 5 years without a second thought. But the moment I asked for something back, I'm an inconvenience. Please, we'll lose everything. Then get full-time jobs. Both of you. We're too old. You're 58. You're not too old. You're too comfortable. We can't work full-time at our age. Yes, you can. You just don't want to. Because I've been enabling you for 5 years. This is cruel. No, cruel is watching your son pay your bills for 5 years and then acting like he's asking too much when he needs needs 2 hours of your time. But the house is not my problem. It's yours. Figure it out. I hung up, blocked the number. They showed up at my door that evening. 6:23 p.m., both of them, standing on my porch. Sarah answered. David, your parents are here. I came to the door, didn't open the screen. We need to talk, Dad said. Nothing to talk about. You're making a huge mistake, Mom said. Her eyes were red, puffy. We're family. Family helps each other. I helped you for 5 years. You couldn't help me for 2 hours. We were busy that day. You were watching TV. I heard it when I called. Her face went red. We'll babysit, Dad said quickly. Anytime you need, just don't stop the payments. Too late, please, Mom said, tears starting. We'll lose the house. We'll be homeless. You won't be homeless. You'll have to downsize. Get an apartment. Live within your means. We can't afford an apartment. Then work full-time. Both of you. This is revenge, Dad said. His voice had gone hard. Over one comment. This is consequence. Over 5 years of being used. We didn't use you. Yes, you did. And the second I asked for something back, you made it crystal clear where I stood. That's not true. Then why did Mom say you're not my nannies? Why couldn't you give me 2 hours? Why do you take vacations twice a year while I pay your mortgage? Why did you buy a new TV? Why are you working part-time? Silence. You got comfortable, I said. You stopped trying because you didn't have to. I was handling it, and I should have stopped years ago. I stepped back and closed the door, locked it. They stood on the porch for maybe 15 minutes, knocking, pleading. I didn't answer. Sarah held my hand. You okay? Yeah, I think I am. My phone exploded over the next 3 days. Cousins, aunts, uncles, people I hadn't heard from in years. How could you abandon your parents? They raised you. You owe them. Family doesn't treat family like this. I replied to each one the same way. I paid their mortgage for 5 years, $108,000. I asked for 2 hours of babysitting. They said no, so I said no back. Some people stopped responding. Some doubled down. That doesn't matter. They're your parents. Others took my side. Wait, you paid their mortgage for 5 years and they wouldn't babysit? That's messed up. My cousin Michelle called. I heard what happened. I just want to say, good for you. Your parents have been taking advantage for years. Everyone knows it. Someone needed to stand up to them. Everyone knows? David, they brag about their vacations, about not having to work full-time, about how you take care of everything. They think it's funny, like they won some lottery. My stomach turned. Are you serious? Completely. Last Thanksgiving, your dad told everyone you're set for life, so you don't mind helping. Like it's no big deal to you. I hung up feeling sick. 3 months later, I heard through Lauren that the house was in foreclosure proceedings. Mom called from another unknown number. I answered, against my better judgment. The foreclosure notice came. We have 90 days. Please, we'll do anything. Get full-time jobs. Sell the house before it forecloses. Move somewhere affordable. You're really not going to help? I helped for 5 years. You refused to help for 2 hours. We're done. But we're your parents, and Emma's your granddaughter. But you wouldn't watch her for 2 hours. So clearly being family doesn't mean much to you either. That was one time. One time was enough. It showed me exactly where I stood. I was useful as long as I was paying. But the second I needed something, I was an inconvenience. That's not. It is. And I'm done. Mom tried one last angle. Emma won't have grandparents anymore. She'll have grandparents. She just won't have ones who take her for granted like you took me. I hung up, blocked the number. I started seeing a therapist in April, Dr. Rachel Kim, licensed clinical psychologist, specializing in family dynamics. Tell me why you're here, she said during our first session. I cut off my parents financially after 5 years of supporting them. I feel guilty, but I also feel angry. I need to figure out which feeling is correct. Why do you think only one can be correct? Because if I'm guilty, I'm the bad guy. If I'm angry, they are. Maybe you're both. I looked at her. Maybe you feel guilty because you love them, and you were raised to take care of family, and maybe you feel angry because they took advantage of that love. Both feelings can exist. We met weekly for 3 months. She helped me understand that I'd been enabling them, that helping had become enabling around year 2, that they'd stopped trying because they didn't need to. You removed consequences, she said. They couldn't lose their house. They couldn't struggle because you were there. So they had no motivation to change. But they're my parents, and you're their son. But being their son doesn't mean sacrificing your own family's well-being. You have a daughter, a wife. Your responsibility is to them first. So I did the right thing. I think you did the hard thing. Whether it's right depends on your values. But from what you've told me, yes, you set a boundary, a necessary one. 6 months after I cut them off, Lauren called. They sold the house. What? Listed it. Sold it in 2 weeks. Moved to an apartment in Sterling. Are they okay? Define okay. They're bitter, angry, but they're alive. Both working full-time now. Dad got a job at Target. Full-time. Benefits. Mom's at a call center. Also full-time. They're working? Yep. Turns out when you don't have a choice, you figure it out. Are they managing? They're fine. Their apartment is nice. 2 bedrooms. They cleared about $80,000 from the house sale after paying off the mortgage. Put it in savings. They're living paycheck to paycheck, but they're making it work. I felt something shift in my chest. Relief? Guilt? Vindication? All three. Have they said anything about me? Not to me. But I heard from Aunt Carol that they're telling people you abandoned them, that you're heartless, that they sacrificed everything to raise you, and you threw them away. Of course they are. Do you care? I don't know. Maybe. A little. Don't. They made their choices. You made yours. They'll either realize what they did or they won't. Either way, you did the right thing. A year after I cut them off, I got got a letter, not an email, not a text, a physical letter. My father's handwriting. I almost threw it away. Sarah said, "Read it. You'll regret it if you don't." I opened it. "David, it's been a year. I wanted to write because I'm not sure we'll talk again. Your mother and I are working full time. We have an apartment. We're managing. It's hard. Harder than I thought it would be. I've had a lot of time to think. You were right. We took advantage of you. We got comfortable. We stopped trying because you made it too easy not to try. When you stopped helping, I was angry. I thought you were cruel. But now I understand. We should have been helping you. Not just with Emma, but with everything. We should have been grateful. We should have been working harder. We should have been parents. Instead, we let you be our parent. I'm sorry. I don't expect you to forgive us. I don't expect you to help again. I just wanted you to know that I finally understand. You did the right thing. Dad, I read it 3 times. Sat at the kitchen table for maybe 20 minutes. Sarah found me. You okay? He apologized. That's good, right? I think so. Yeah. Are you going to respond? I don't know. I called Dr. Kim. He apologized. In a letter. What do I do? What do you want to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to forgive him. Part of me is still angry. Both are valid. So, what do I do? You don't have to decide right now. Forgiveness isn't a switch. It's a process. You can acknowledge the apology without fully trusting them yet. You can rebuild slowly, or you can choose not to rebuild at all. All of those options are okay. What would you do? She smiled. That's not my decision to make. 2 weeks later, I called my father. He answered on the first ring. David? Yeah, it's me. I didn't think you'd call. I got your letter. I meant every word. I know. Silence. I'm not ready to go back to how things were, I said. I understand. But maybe we can talk sometimes, see where it goes. I'd like that. And if you need help, actual help, not pay my bills help, you can ask. But I'm not your bank anymore. That's done. I know. We don't want that either. We're managing. Good. How's Emma? She's good. 4 now. Starting pre-K. Can we see her sometime? Just to visit? I thought about it. Maybe. We'll see. That's fair. We talked for maybe 15 minutes. Surface stuff. Weather. Work. Nothing deep. But it was a start. It's been 3 years since I cut them off. My parents are still working full-time. Still living in their apartment. Still managing. We talk maybe once a month. See each other on holidays. Emma knows them as Grandma and Grandpa, but not in the way she knows Sarah's parents, who babysit weekly and show up to every event. My parents are cautious now, careful not to overstep. They offer to help sometimes, watching Emma for an hour, bringing dinner, small things. They never ask for money. I never offer. The relationship is different, smaller, more honest. I don't know if it's better, but it's real. People ask me sometimes if I regret cutting them off. The answer is no, because they showed me exactly who they were when I asked for 2 hours of help after 5 years of payments. And I showed them exactly who I was when I stopped enabling their comfort. They called me heartless, but sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone face the consequences of their choices. Because I paid their mortgage for 5 years, and they couldn't watch their granddaughter for 2 hours. That's not family. That's a transaction, and I was done being the bank.